Hello everybody and welcome to Just Next Door, the show where we take you on a trip around Philadelphia to learn all about the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. I'm Dana Pecora.
I'm Kevin Wynn.
And I'm Peter Elliott. If you're looking to find a new spot to visit but don't want to travel too far, don't change the channel. Today we'll take you around the city to see some hidden gems, give you some ideas on how to be a good neighbor, and even chat with one of the city's favorite sports journalists, Mike Sealski.
All that and more is coming up, and it's Just Next Door.
This is Just Next Door, the show where we take you around Philadelphia to learn about all this beautiful city has to offer.
Philadelphia is famous for the numerous cultures and attractions housed within its city limits. For years, the 17th century style Japanese garden and tea house, also known as Shifuso Garden, has been a hot spot for tourists and locals alike who are looking to learn about Japanese history and traditions. Just Next Door got the inside scoop on all things Shifuso for this segment of Culture Connections. Take a look.
Located in Fairmount Park, the Shifuso Japanese House and Garden allows visitors to take a view of 17th century Japan. Inside, visitors can look at different objects including kimonos and pipes that people would have used in the 17th century. Additionally, the tea house also allows visitors to take a look at architecture that would have been around during that time period. Outside the tea house, visitors can discover and enjoy the natural sights of the garden. Some of the views that visitors can look forward to not only include different types of waterfalls, but also the koi fish that live in the ponds. Have a listen for yourself to some of the sweet sounds the garden has to offer. When you have some spare time, the Shifuso Garden provides a relaxing and meditative experience that brings a completeness to your mind. Wow, I can't believe how much rich culture we have here in our city that I never knew about.
Philadelphia is one of the oldest cities in the country, and there are plenty of legends surrounding its history. In fact, the rumored first doomsday cult in America is right in our own backyard. Travel with us to Wissahickon Valley to learn about the Cave of Kelpius for a segment we like to call Philly Folklore.
America's first doomsday cult was established in the Cave of Kelpius, located in what is known today as Wissahickon Park. Among the long history of prophets who claimed to know the end of the world was Johannes Kelpius. According to Hidden City, Philadelphia, in 1694, Kelpius led a group of German monks and mystics to the woods where they settled in preparation for the end of the world. They took refuge inside of a cave located in the wilderness to live among the beauty of nature as they awaited the second coming. The cave is known to be an area that people just accidentally stumble upon during their daily hikes through the woods.
Oh wait, this is it.
Here, we live in the neighborhood, both of us, so we hike with the dogs, and we found it. I found it hiking with him.
Stumbled onto it.
The cave is tucked away in the park about a mile off of Hermit Lane along Wissahickon Creek. According to Atlas Obscura, the structure was built into the side of a hill and is thought to be the remains of an old spring house where Kelpius and his men lived. The cave is a destination for many hikers on a weekly basis who enjoy the serenity of the wilderness just as Kelpius and his men did.
It has this vibe that's so nice and so quiet, and it's kind of mystical.
Just the environment. It's calm. It's peaceful. Maybe that's why the monks picked it, because it had a certain vibe to it. So I like the feeling of it.
People travel from all over the world to make the cave a destination in their spiritual journeys.
There was a woman from where she?
I think Argentina. She was on her trip to see all 12 of these places around the United States. I went home and I'm like, she came to our cave. We live here. We like take it for granted every day. We got a gem here in the Wissahickon.
Now that we've learned about some ancient legends of the city, let's fast forward a century or two. The Just Next Door team hit the streets to ask people how much they really know about Philadelphia trivia on this segment of Philly Facts.
Hello, Rochelle Jupiter here with another edition of Philly Facts. Today we're at Rittenhouse Square where we will be seeing who knows their Philly facts. Can you name 3 stops on the Broad Street line?
I cannot.
No,
No?
never been on it, ever. Sorry, my kids could answer that.
City Hall and Girard
Okay.
and Temple. What is it, Columbia?
Federal, AT&T Stadium, and Lombard South.
Where is Philadelphia cream cheese made?
I have no idea.
Not in Philadelphia, I know that.
Right.
Not in Philadelphia.
Not in Philadelphia. Take a wild guess.
Oh,
Where?
I don't know.
California.
California.
Arizona? I have no idea.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, all right.
How is Pennsylvania spelled on the Liberty Bell?
Ooh.
PA? It's spelled? Oh.
Maybe it's just plain PA, period.
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Wild guess.
All right, Pennsilvania.
Pennsylvania.
With one N.
You're the first person to get it.
Really?
Yes. All right, thank you so much.
Now that we've been schooled in Philly facts of the past and present, it's time to look toward the future. Philadelphia's own tech community recently found its home on North 3rd Street, which is also known as Nerd Street. We'll look at how some of the brightest and most innovative minds in Philly are creating a mini Silicon Valley in this neighborhood spotlight.
Nerd Street started when a few of us realized that if you put the N and the 3 in North 3rd Street closer to each other, it looks kind of like Nerd Street, which is kind of a joke and kind of a goof, but at the time there was a bunch of sort of creative and tech companies here in Old City, up through Northern Liberties, all the way up towards Girard, this entire corridor, and we thought it would be interesting to have sort of a unified identity. I think the most interesting thing about Nerd Street is the fact that there are so many different kinds of nerds in the city of Philadelphia, and you can find so many of them in this stretch, again, Old City, Northern Liberties, up into Kensington. Whether you're in tech or creative, or you're a food nerd, you like food and drink, there's amazing restaurants and bars. If you're an architecture nerd, a history nerd, an art nerd, a game nerd, like literally, if you're super passionate about something, it's the thing you nerd out about, there's a really good chance you can find other people that nerd out about that thing too. So Indie Hall's less of a service provider and more like a community center for people who work in all different kinds of industries, all different backgrounds.
North 3rd Street is going to be really great. I think many companies are opening their businesses here. You see a lot of traffic here for technology companies and others. The name of my company is Networks IT Solutions. We provide IT services and cloud-based solutions for small and medium businesses in the Philadelphia area. We're focused on business continuity and on security, network security, as well as data security. Well, being on 3rd Street, I think, has a great benefit for a business like mine, especially when new businesses keep flowing into the area. So we are getting new business from that.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to dive in and talk sports. Stay tuned.
31% of female victims stalked by an intimate partner were sexually assaulted by that partner. For more help, visit www.victimsofcrime.org.
What you reading, loser?
Nothing, man. I'm just trying to study for this task coming up. You know, you gotta keep up with work.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to study. Leave me alone.
Hey, man, leave him alone. He's trying to study.
All right, man. You got it.
Welcome back to Just Next Door, the show where we take you around Philly to experience what the guidebooks won't tell you. Moving on from places to visit to focus on one of Philly's favorite pastimes, sports.
Today we have sports journalist Mike Sealski in studio to talk about his unique job and his experience chronicling Philly's favorite teams. But first, we're going to show you how you can be sporty no matter what season it is.
Just because you don't like swimming laps doesn't mean you can't get in a great workout at the pool. Just Next Door teamed up with the LaSalle women's water polo team, who showed us how to burn some calories and get a little wet. Come with us to Kirk Pool for this segment of Philly Fit to see how you can work out like a water polo player.
I really love playing with my teammates and building strong relationships with the team.
My favorite part is being very aggressive and being on a team.
Putting in a lot of work and effort in the countless hours of practice that we have.
Swimming is probably the best exercise you could do for your body.
I'm going to go back to the pool to do some sport reporting on my own while Dana and Kevin chat with our studio guest, Mike Sealski. Mike is a sports journalist for The Inquirer, Philly Daily News, and Philly.com.
A city as passionate as Philly needs a writer as passionate as Sealski to cover all things sports, and we want to see how he does it.
I always thought if you could play here, you could play anywhere. But then I thought, you know, that's what everyone told me when I got traded here. You know, oh man, the fans are brutal. The fans are right. I said, well, then don't suck.
Philly versus everybody. The love affair is back.
Philly just wants to see us win. Like, our fans are diehard. We want to win all the time. So with the new energy of all these great players that's coming in and kind of resurfacing fans, old fans, new fans, and bringing a new energy to the city is definitely what we need.
And you can feel the city is totally behind it.
When you walk down the street and you see somebody in Eagles gear, you say, go Birds. It's like somebody in Sixers gear. It's like, trust the process, baby.
It's no joke down in Philly.
He is actually going to eject a fan.
We're all really passionate, and we've embraced the idea of being the underdog.
We're always struggling for that championship team, but we never give up, and we always follow through with learning and growing and being stronger together. And that's what Philly is.
So we have Mike Sealski here in studio. Thank you so much for joining us, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Dana. Appreciate it.
No problem. So I know that you live or grew up in the area locally. So how does it feel to write about the sports teams that you grew up around?
It's wonderful. It's the only job I ever really wanted to have. And the advantage of it, obviously, is you kind of come with a built-in knowledge and kind of a historical database in your mind about all these teams that I now get to write about on a daily basis.
Is it hard to kind of, not be biased towards your favorite teams when you're writing?
Actually, it's not. Because of the nature of the job, you go into each day saying to yourself, what am I going to write, and what do I need to do in order to write the best possible column I can? And when you do that, the outcome of the game or the fortunes of the team that you might have grown up rooting for kind of don't matter as much. Doing the job and doing it well comes first.
What is unique about writing sports in Philadelphia?
Philadelphia is a very parochial sports town. And by that I mean, if you look at national events or national sports trends on Twitter, TV ratings for the Super Bowl, all of those are down in Philadelphia. People who are sports fans in Philadelphia care about the Eagles, the Sixers, the Phillies, the Flyers. So the idea in some ways of writing a column about the Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots, unless one of those teams is playing the Eagles in a big game or the Super Bowl, it really doesn't enter your mind. You're singularly focused on the teams in this city.
So you've been in sports journalism for a pretty long time, 20 years?
Yes.
How has...
Thanks for making me feel old.
and that just means you're so good at your job.
Yeah. If you said it, I didn't.
So how has sports journalism changed since you first entered the field?
Two big ways, I would say. I mean, there are many ways it's changed, but two I would cite are these. I came up in the business getting my start at a suburban daily newspaper covering high school sports, and worked my way up from there to a bigger paper, et cetera. That path is a lot harder to negotiate and navigate nowadays. It's, there's really no set formula or set path for you if you want to become a journalist or a sports writer. Websites pop all over. Some of them do well, some of them don't. Where you get your start, you can come from anywhere basically and get to become a journalist. The second thing is, because of the rise of social media, I think those of us who consider ourselves journalists think a lot more about what people want to know and what kind of media they want to consume, as opposed to what we think they might need to know. And so you end up tailoring coverage a little bit more towards topics or people that you think are going to generate interest, generate clicks. It's not necessarily the best development for the profession, but it's the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
So with that, is there like the Eagles and Sixers are more popular,
yes,
like in 2018. Do you have like a preference with them over like the Phillies and Flyers or like the college sports?
Well, I don't have a preference in terms of what I like to cover. I love covering the NHL. I love, in particular, covering the NHL playoffs. It's like being in an arena for an NHL playoff game is like being inside a pot of boiling water. It's really an amazing atmosphere. But the fact is that the Flyers or even Villanova basketball, even when the Wildcats are winning 2 national championships in 3 years, don't draw the same amount of reader and user interest that a column about the Eagles or the Sixers would. I mean, I could literally type the words Carson Wentz 350 times, post that on Philly.com as a column, and that would likely generate more clicks and hits and reader engagement time than anything I write about Villanova basketball. And that's not a slight at Jay Wright or his players or what they've accomplished or anything like that. Again, it's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
So again, you have written about a lot. You've been in the profession many years. So what has been your favorite either game you've covered or experience that you've written about?
Well, in terms of games, I've been at a couple memorable ones. If there are any New York Jets fans out there watching, I was at the butt fumble game in 2012, in which their quarterback, Mark Sanchez, ran into the rear end of one of his own offensive linemen and fumbled, and a New England Patriots player took it for a touchdown. That was Thanksgiving night, 2012. And then the other memorable game, obviously, would be this past Super Bowl when the Eagles beat the Patriots. That was pretty amazing.
With Philly fans being as crazy as they are, do you think that hurts or helps the team? Or individual players?
I think it's a double-edged sword. I think when a team gets off to a good start, the passion and, let's be frank, noise of a crowd at Lincoln Financial Field or the Wells Fargo Center can really help boost the home team. The problem is that when a team doesn't get off to a good start or things aren't going well, you can almost feel this sense of dread come over a stadium or an arena in Philadelphia. I mean, the city's only celebrated, what, 2 championships in the last 35 years. So there's the metaphor I always use is that there's this sense that like an anvil is hanging over everybody's heads, and they're just looking up, waiting for it, you know, the string to snap and the anvil to fall on top of everybody. So it can be, and athletes I think pick up on that, you know, whether they admit it or not. So it can be a help and it can be a hindrance.
Well, I think that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for coming in studio to talk with us.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. When we come back, we're going to see how we can support local organizations while still having fun.
We'll see you after this short break.
According to statistics, 40 million adults suffer from depression or anxiety. 1 in 4 college students are affected by this as well. You never know who is going through something, so you should always be kind to one another. A little kindness can go a long way. It might even save a life.
We're all back together again to explore more ways to support the local community through service.
Whether you want to help at your local middle school or connect with other community members, there are thousands of ways to get involved while being a good neighbor.
While many organizations work to achieve similar goals, Share Food program goes above and beyond when it comes to helping their neighbors. For over 30 years, Share has been helping Philadelphia by providing produce and other goods to community members who might not have access to the best food.
We visited Share to learn about their mission, what they do, and how we can get involved to benefit our neighbors. Check out this week's Service Spotlight.
Share was actually started in 1983 by a deacon who worked in the Catholic Church with Mother Teresa and believed that everyone in the world deserved affordable, basic, and consistent food. So San Diego had the first Share program in the country, and the Share program in Philadelphia started in 1986. So today they pack senior food boxes, and we pack 6,000 of those a month for low-income seniors in Philadelphia, Montgomery, Chester, and Bucks County. There are about 19 items in each food box, and these go to seniors once a month. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving, so they were packing dry holiday boxes, and volunteers were also harvesting today and planting and get ready for the winter crops.
It's a cool way to give back to the community and be involved in what's already happening.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity just for the kids too to be a part of helping, giving back, and just feeling like a part of what's going on in our city.
Action Tank has spent the entire year working in food insecurity, and Share is one of the largest organizations that's trying to combat this issue. I mean, it's appalling to think that 1 in 5 Philadelphians doesn't know where they're getting their next meal from. The work that Share does puts a huge dent in that.
Share's mission is to make sure that people have access to affordable, healthy food, and that food be given out to people or they come and pick it up in a very respectful, hospitable manner, and that at the end of the day we're all really equal and everybody deserves to have good food to eat and a good place to live.
It's a great space just to bring our volunteers, people who want to get involved in the city. It's a very easy spot, and in our community there's a lot of people that just want to get involved with Philly, so Share makes it very easy to do that.
Yeah.
I know where I'll be going this weekend to lend a hand.
And I'll join you. And after, we can continue to support the community by visiting a local business, the Kauai Kitty Cafe.
The Kauai Kitty Cafe is a unique place where visitors can cuddle some cats while they sip some coffee. It's a great opportunity to support local residents, humans and pets alike. Take a look at one of Just Next Door's favorite local spots for this segment of Support Local.
The Kauai Kitty Cafe, located in the heart of Queen Village, is not your usual coffee shop. This cafe also happens to be an adoption center, with hundreds of cats being adopted since the opening of the cafe 2 years ago. Teaming up with the Philadelphia Animal Welfare Society, the Kauai Kitty Cafe provides a safe environment for the cats filled with cat-friendly furniture and toys. While there are many cat cafes in the country, the Kauai Kitty Cafe is the first of its kind in Philadelphia. The theme of the cafe revolves around the word kawaii, meaning cute in Japanese, which can be seen in the aesthetic of the shop.
So they definitely originated in Eastern cultures, Japan specifically, and they were to service people who kind of really couldn't have pets, and they would house special breed cats that you would pay to go in and hang out with. So we just wanted to have the concept apply here, but serve the rescue aspect of cats and their needs in this city. There's so many of them, and we were just hoping to combine the hanging out with cats and also finding them homes.
To see the cats that are available for adoption, visitors can make reservations to engage in the unique experience the cafe provides. While hanging out with the cats, visitors can order from their menu of specialty items, ranging from colorful milkshakes and hot chocolates to their popular cat-themed lattes, designed to look like the cute cats the visitors will be interacting with. While reservations are the best way to participate in this unique experience, walk-ins will still be accommodated to enjoy the kawaii elements this cafe has to offer while also supporting their local animal shelters.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you enjoyed traveling around the city with us to learn about cultures, legends, trivia, and local hotspots.
We'd like to thank Mike Sealski for stopping by and the water polo team for giving us a new way to work out.
And remember, if you're looking to be a good neighbor or you're looking to scout out a new spot to grub, all you need to do is look just next door. For this episode, I'm Peter Elliott.
I'm Dana Pecora.
And I'm Kevin Wynn. See you next time.